Hello, I'm going to take you through what's required for your Year 10 4-chord song. So I've booted up Garageband and I've just got the basic electric piano sound. That's what it comes up. I've got a little bit of delay in my system as well because I'm trying to record this video and it's doing something weird. So I'm going to recompose an 8-bar section with a chord progression in the key of C major using just the 4 chords. So here we go. Chord 1, chord, no, hold on. Chord 1, C, chord 4, chord 5, chord 1, chord 6, chord 4, F, chord 5, chord 1. Now I did all of those in root position, just about all of those in root position, and just because that's probably how you're going to do it, I'll show you what I mean by that. So there is my first 8-bar section which I would repeat. So before I do that though, I'm just going to double click in there and quantize everything. So all my notes are on the beat. I'll quantize them to minims. So now everything's completely on the beat, completely in time. And so that 4-bar section I would then repeat. And now I'm going to come up with, so that's my first A section, my second A section. Now I'm going to do my third section, which is my B section with some different chords. I might start in chord 4 this time. Chord 4, chord 1, chord 4, chord 6. I'm going to stay chord 6, 6, and 5, and 1, and 4, 5. And that was my second section, which I'm going to now quantize all the notes quickly. And it's done that, hasn't done it automatically. I think it has. And then I have take my initial A section and copy it to the end as well. So now I've got 4 sections, A, B, and A. Now I've got to decide between myself. I'm going to get rid of my keyboard, I don't need that for now. What kind of genre do I want? And I think I might actually go for a classical genre with this one. And I'm going to slow down my tempo to about 90 beats per minute. Okay, that's kind of working. And so if I'm going to do a classical piece, I might make it for a string quartet. So I'm going to create some new string instruments. Software instrument. And here I'm going to go into my orchestral section and into my strings. And looks like I've got my string ensemble to use. I've only got one kind of string. Okay, it's all right. So maybe what I'll do with this is I might create a few different tracks. And that can also be a string ensemble. Maybe do 3 of them. And one more, so I've got 3 string ensemble tracks. Usually I would have created violin, viola, and cello if I was inside Logic. But I don't have that option here inside GarageBand, so I just have to do string ensemble. Strange, I thought I would have had them. You know, I'll have to look into that later. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy, first of all, electric piano down into all of them. But I'm only going to use, in this case, the top note for this one here, which I'm going to call my string ensemble 1 part. That's just going to have the top notes. So I'm going to get rid of, oh, hold on. Before I do that, now before I copy this down to the different string parts, I need to go and make my piano part a bit smoother by changing the inversions. So I'm going to double click that, and I'm looking down here and I can see, because I was in root position every time, everything's jumping up all over the place. So what I want to do is try and make my movements a little bit smoother. So this note here, for example, this high C, should be down there at the bottom C to make it go a little bit more smoothly. So if I just go and drag that down, where's it gone? And so now you can see that that chord is moving really smoothly to the next chord. So that note's actually staying the same, and that might be helpful to us. Now this here, this high D, that better move down to the low D as well. And I wonder actually if I should be moving that down too. Everything's getting quite high. We'll leave that there for now. Actually, I will move that down. That B, move down to there. So now there's not as big a jump between those notes. That one can stay the same. this low A, maybe that can go up. And so maybe that whole chord there can go up. No, maybe not the whole chord, maybe just 2 of the notes. And so on. So there you can see I've just about done this first. I might as well just complete this first section. So now you can see that the 3 notes of my right hand are now moving really smoothly between all of the notes. The bass part down the bottom is still jumping all over the place, but we'll deal with that later. So now that I have gone and copied that, to fix that up, I'm going to need to delete my other A sections and now copy them back over to there again so that they stay smooth. Of course, it would be good to put some variation in them later on, but we'll worry about that later. Now I'm going to take the electric piano part and move it down to this first string ensemble part. And in here, I'm going to go and delete all of the notes that are not on the top. And any notes which repeat, I'm going to make into one long note to make it sound smooth. So we can see here we've got these G's going along. And delete those 2 G's there and make that one go long. Same at the end. And what I also like to do is slightly overlap them so they sound like they're changing smoothly, a lot more legato. Okay, now I need to go to the second string ensemble part and do the same thing. And copy it down. And this time I'm going to keep the middle notes, or the second note from the top. So I'm going to delete all of the top notes. And I'm going to, of course, delete the bass notes. And then the bottom notes there. Any notes which are repeating, I'm going to make into one long note again. Make them nice and smooth, and then one more time for the third string part. This time I am going to get rid of the top 2 parts, all those notes, and rid of the bass line. And here we have a lot of repeating notes, so we'll overlap them. Overlap. And we better have a bass part as well, so I better create one more string ensemble part which can play low bass notes. And I'll go to orchestral, string ensemble. There's my bass strings. Excuse the spelling mistake. Can't bother fixing it. Oh, hold on, I just moved that rather than copied it, so I don't want to do that. I want to copy it again, holding down the Alt or the Option key. And now delete everything apart from the bass notes. And think about what the bass notes. Well, we can move these around the octave too. And they could all possibly move down an octave. So let's see what that sounds like now as a string part. Oh, the wrong note in there. So I haven't quite copied something correct in bar 6, which is supposed to be an F chord. Somewhere in bar 6 I've got a wrong note. It's not in that part, that's okay. There, that's supposed to be a different kind of note there. So it's supposed to be an E there, an F I think. Yeah. So let's see what it sounds like now. It still sounds funny with it. What have I done there? Bar 6. It's supposed to be an F chord, so we have a C note which is going on, which sounds good. An F chord, and then oh, an A flat. It's supposed to be an A natural. There we go. That'll sound better. Okay. The next thing I'll do to try and make that more interesting string part is I might actually change some of the rhythm slightly. So this top part, which sort of is moving a bit, maybe I'll bring that note in just a little bit sooner, like a beat sooner, and then maybe over here I'll make that change a little bit later. And I'll go to the next part and I'll maybe move that around a little bit, make that move a little bit around as well. And just by moving some of the notes off by a little bit of a beat, can actually create a bit of movement in the chords, so it doesn't sound quite as boring. Pretty nifty little technique. Let's see what that sounds like now. So we get some of the notes changing around a little bit. Okay, I didn't get some of them quite right. I reckon I might need to massage a little bit better. Okay, some of them came in too soon. So that anticipation of some of them didn't sound so good. Right, so what I'll do now is go through and do the same technique with my strings for my other sections. I could just repeat all that along for the next section, like that. Maybe go and change some of the voicings again, so move some of the notes up or down an octave, and then I do the same thing with my B section. And then I'm going to go create a melody. So my melody is going to be, in this case, I might put it on another orchestral instrument, maybe like a flute or an oboe or something. So if I go to orchestral, woodwinds, and oh, I haven't got any of them downloaded. Let's just download an oboe. See how long that takes. That might take a little while. Maybe let's find another melody instrument for now. Maybe I'll just choose a piano sound. And with my melody I've created, sorry, my chords I've created, I now need to create a little melody. And initially I'm going to try and make it only go for 2 bars, and I'm going to repeat it. So I'm in the key of C major, so it's all the white notes on the keyboard. Let's see what I can come up with. There it is. Now it's a little bit out of time because I've got a bit of a delay going on in my system at the moment, but I'll also go and fix the timing. And I only wanted to record 2 bars. So if I select all those notes there, see if this is what this sounds like. So I just kind of randomly hit some of the white notes there. And what I can do is, now I've got that little 2-bar phrase, I can just duplicate it. So my melody sounds like this. Okay, at that point there, because the chords have changed, the melody doesn't quite work, so I need to adjust it a little bit, which is good. So maybe I won't have these last 2 notes, maybe I'll just have this one note going for longer. Now I'll take my first melody, copy it over again, and see what it sounds like now. Okay, at that point there, I feel like my melody needs to change slightly, and I want this one to go up. So you're kind of hearing this might sound better. Let's try this. Okay, and I'm going to now go to my first melody, copy it over again, and see what it sounds like finishing with this. And we just want to finish so it finishes nicely in the melody, finish in a C. So my chord progression in a classical style. I think it's going to sound better. I'm going to add an extra little note in here. Okay, and then I might repeat that whole melody, copy it along for my B section. But instead of keeping it there, maybe I'll put all of those ones up the octave. Transpose them up 12 semitones. So then it sounds like this. So if I'd started off with maybe a clarinet playing it low in the first 8 bars, and maybe I'd have a flute take over an octave higher in the next 8 bars. Then I would go through and compose, or firstly orchestrate my chords for the B section and compose a melody, and then I could take everything and copy it over for my last 8 bars, and maybe make a few adjustments about what notes the strings are playing and also where the melody might be going. Okay, so that's a piece of music that I wrote in 10 or 15 minutes, and so I hope this walkthrough, this tutorial is helpful to you to remind you of the sorts of things you want to do.